the sides. And again, keep it very congested in the middle and make that, I can't imagine, for as good of a striker as Aubameyang might be, he and Lacazette are not going to out-jump Toby, Dyer, or Vertonghen for any ball going into the middle. And without Giroud, they don't have that height anymore. What are they going to do? Put Per Mertesacker up there as a striker? They're not. It's a height disadvantage. So it all depends on the tactics, right?
Well, right. And again, I've been so used to us playing 4-4-2 since Toby has been out because it suited us far greater to be in that position.
Right.
That I'm just automatically assuming that. And even though you said, could we play three at the back? If we play a three at the back, again, I think it's got to be Sanchez, Vertonghen, and Toby, which, then if you're only going to play one in the holding position, is Dyer the best one there? And I think you could argue that's probably a pretty strong case for him starting in that position, and Dembele coming on later if we need to dictate the play a little more. Because if you do play two with five at the back or a 3-5-2 formation, you're sacrificing one of your front players, and that would obviously be Son. That leaves you just playing Dele, Eriksen, Kane up top.
Yeah, honestly, the possibilities are endless. Because, oh, by the way, you have attacking options now available to you. I don't know if Lucas will get any time in this match or not.
I don't think he will unless we're winning, as you said, 5-1 and he comes
give him
10 minutes at the end. I guarantee he'll be on the bench just for his experience of a North London derby. I know he could be non-suited and sitting around the bench area, but I think get him thinking he might get some playing time. I think I heard today after training that his legs aren't 100%, so there's probably every chance that he won't even be on the bench. But he should be there in the stadium watching this, getting to experience what a North London derby is all about. So I guess the big question is, we're going to put a stake in the ground. What formation are we going to play, and who do we start?
Yeah, I'm writing it down. I'm literally like on a pen and pad. I'm kind of writing this down.
Well, so yeah, I think. Oh, goalkeeper, that's a tough one.
Lloris.
See, Paulo, Lloris. Yeah, I think he's a shoe in there. I think he's going to revert back. Oh bollocks!
So is it Dyer or is it Sanchez?
It all hinges if he's going to start Toby. If he starts Toby, it's 3-5-2.
Yep.
I think it'll be Trippier and Davis, and everyone's saying, "Oh, Trippier's just going to get annihilated down the right wing."
He surprised us against Man United.
Exactly.
Played
So
very well.
I thought we all said he had a good game and showed up for that. But by playing Aurier and Rose yesterday, Rose didn't do anything to warrant a starting position. And Aurier, again, he had that ball. I don't know if you saw it. It got away from him. He went after it and he trod on the player's foot.
Yeah.
It didn't even get a free kick against us, which he's fortunate. But again, that's that liability that he has. If you lose the ball, get it back, but don't foul the player and run the risk of a yellow card for injuring them. That's just naive. So that I think sorts the back out. As I said, I think you'll have Dyer in there to allow us more attacking options up front. And that'll be the usual four suspects of Son, Ali, Eriksen, and Kane.
So that leaves Dembele on the bench.
It would. Now, if we play four at the back, then it's and Toby's out. Then Sanchez, Vertonghen. I'm torn between whether it be Dembele and Wanyama or Dyer and Dembele. And again, then you'd have the same options up front. That's written in stone that those four are playing right now.
Yeah, and for anybody out there that's going to bemoan the lineup when it comes out and scratch your head, this is all about trust. So who does Pochettino trust in a fixture as big as this one, with Chelsea struggling, with Liverpool also having their moments of struggle? They're there for the taking. So it's just a matter of being, 6 or 7 points behind United, and obviously we're not catching City. So it's second and third, and obviously top four as a whole that's up for grabs here. But you can increase the margin between yourselves and Arsenal, I think, up to 8 points if you can nick 3 in this match. So again, a draw to me in this fixture is unacceptable. I mean, unless we're 2-0 down with 80 minutes to go, then I'll bite your arm off for a draw. But to me, it's unacceptable. We talked before all this fixture, these high-profile fixtures happened. Is anything less than success acceptable? And the answer across the panel was no, not at all. This is a must-win. It's an absolute must-win. I fully intend Tottenham supporters to come out in droves for this match, shatter that United record and Premier League record for attendance, and sing until your lungs are bleeding, because that's what we're going to be doing down the pub. And every other
sadly, we won't be able to, because they're going to apply the same rule they did for the West Ham game, and there'll be a whole section separated. So capacity will be in the 70s, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, it's a London derby, and that's what the police insist, and so we can't break that record. Which probably,
if that's the only disappointing thing I hear all weekend, I'll be happy.
Exactly. You know, I can't argue that City will break it, because they don't have any fans.
Yeah.
So
exactly right.
One other thing.
Yeah.
Let's all be prepared for the inevitable. Sissoko starts.
That will be a head scratcher. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way. Unless we do like a 4-1-4-1 and he plays up front in the middle instead of on the wing.
Just imagine the scenes if he started, you know.
Oh my God.
What's next?
A couple of quotes quickly that came out this week leading up to this match. One from Pochettino first. He says, in response to talking about Arsenal strengthening their squad and Sanchez leaving and all this other stuff. He says, I cannot say if they look stronger or not since they were before their signings. We are focused on us. I really don't care. They play 11. We play with 11. The derby is special for everyone, and Wembley is starting to feel good. So that's a good sign from Poch, which means he knows the crowd is getting into it as we wind down this season. Champions League still on the horizon. Juventus will be coming in there shortly. Wenger, conversely, states in a direct shot referring to Kane and Ali, you have to think that English players have become the masters of diving in football. So a little bit of war of words between the managers, and I like that about Poch. He had a couple of little controversial comments last week as well, post-match, which is he is a master at saying a whole bunch of stuff and never saying anything. So he actually did get a little controversial last week talking about, I think, some of the Liverpool accolades or suggestions of diving, and he said, hey, look, it's part of the game. It's part of deceiving your opponent is okay. So again, I've talked about that South American mentality, that is part of the game, and I think across the Fox panel, so Alexi Lawless and I can't remember the other guy. The older guy, the Brit that sits in the middle between him and the other girl.
Warren Barton.
Yes, Warren Barton. He was a little taken aback by that and felt a little bit offended by the comment. But he said, listen, before all this television coverage and before, to your point, a lot of social media coverage, we all did it. It's all part of the game. And for as much as we bemoan it, and there's even sanctions against it, and you can be penalized for simulation, players are still going to do it because they're trying to figure out a way to gain their team an advantage. So, believe me, it happens in the NFL. Defensive linemen calling cadences that the quarterback is trying to call. If the referee doesn't hear them do it, I mean, it's an unsportsmanlike foul if they do it, but if they're trying to get the offensive line to jump in a cheating, quote-unquote, manner or a simulated, quote-unquote, manner, it's the same exact thing. Stealing signs in baseball, same exact thing.
It is no different in the reverse situation where a defender wants to let a striker know that they're around them and they're waiting for that one moment when both officials on the side are looking at the action down the other end. The referee's not watching. That defender, he's not within his rights, but he is going to let that attacker know he's there and he's in for a rough game. It happened all through the early years in football. You read any book on a defender letting a striker know that they're around, and it still happens today. In fact, Warren Barton even made a comment, you know what? He played against I played against Gary Lineker, and he went down just as easily. So
Yeah.
you know, you're talking about the late '80s, early '90s, and that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
It's only cheating if you're trying to deceive the referee into gaining an unfair advantage for your team. Is it cheating if you if you genuinely feel a knock or a kick in the box and you go down? You're within your rights to go down, but you think of that Suarez video that's floating around. I think it was at Norwich, right? He gets clattered into. He's rolling around like he's been shot. Liverpool regain advantage possession of the ball.
He hops up and sprints 30 yards.
Like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
That to me is the difference between gaining a disadvantage or an advantage for your team over falling down in the box. Now, granted, there's falling down in the box with no contact, and you know what? You're going to get a yellow, and if Delhi gets that's the way it is. But having, again, not seen the live play and just the highlights, for Kane and Lamela to be publicly hung for what they did when there was contact. The talk of the offside and Van Dijk playing on Kane and all that stuff, that's beside the point. We're talking about the point of contact. There was contact. They go down. They're within the rights to go down. It's up to the referee to decide if it was a dive or not. And you know what? If they get labelled it, they get labelled it. And Wenger, he's bang out of order, really. He's got nothing better to talk about when he doesn't have any English players on his team except for Will Shite.
Yeah.
He's hardly ever had
and
English
he's off
players
on
his team.
Yeah.
Right, so fucking hell.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Spurs welcoming back Toby, possibly to the lineup. Dyer and Dembele, we talked about this midfield controversy. Talk it out amongst yourselves. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts. Who should be the starting 11? It's going to be... I don't want to be in Pochettino's shoes trying to fill out that sheet. As you said, the very back and the very front, very easy to fill out. That midfield, do I go 4-1-4-1? Do I go 4-2-3-1? 5-5-3-2, 5-3-1? Whatever it is. Who knows? I have no idea. Again, it all comes down to trust. It's Pochettino, which players he trusts that week, and it's us trusting the manager to make the right calls. The only thing we know is that we are not going to have a substitution in the game, barring injury, before the 70th minute. That's a given. That's on the bingo card, right?
Probably. All right, are you ready for your Arsenal questions in the pop quiz?
Oh, shit, we're doing a pop quiz? Crap.
Yeah.
All right.
I prepared North London Derby. If you remember, I think either the first round or the second round was the North London Derby.
Yep.
And they were all about the away fixtures. So if anyone was smart enough, they'd have figured out it's all going to be about the home fixtures.
Gotcha.
So, Kenny, You're up against no one. So all you have to do is give me an answer. You don't have to say your name this week because I can figure that part out. We've only got 5 questions, and some of these are multiple choice. And you're guaranteed to get a point.
Okay.
Because you're going to win the round. Ha-ha!
I'm going to win the round. That's true.
There you go. Okay, question number 1.
Okay.
1887, November the 19th, was the first ever match against those that shall not be named. Back then they were called the Royal Arses. It was abandoned after 75 minutes due to, I'm doing air quotations,
Darkness.
Bad light.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, I remember reading it in Julie's book.
All right. Yeah, there was not really bad lights because they were losing. But what was the score when it was abandoned? 3-2 or 2-1?
2-1.
Very good. I was about to say what was the score, but I've already said they were losing. So 1-1 is one of my multiple choices. Couldn't be in there. So 2-1. Point to Kenny. Ding, ding, ding.
All right.
All right. Suck it up, Tim, Sam, and Vass. Question 2. Fast forward 100 years, the 86-87 season, and we lost at home all 3 times to those wankers. It was the same scoreline. What was it? No multiple choice on this one.
86-87, lost all 3. I'm going to say 2-1.
Yes, it was 2-1.
Nice.
We lost
totally
once in
pulled
the
that
league.
out.
We lost once in the league. We lost the first leg of the semi-final of the League Cup. I think it was the Littlewoods Cup back then. We won at their place, I think, 1-0, or it might have been 2-1. Came back to us for a replay, which we lost 2-1. I was at that game